dozens of them in their report. Many of them are way beyond the scope of the trust. They are outside our authority, to be sure. They make sense in terms of a goal and a direction for the community. They suggest things like there'll be no power outages. Why? Because we would have buried our hydro lines, and so they wouldn't be vulnerable to storms. I mean, there's a lot of good ideas embodied in those targets. I personally don't find those targets in other official community plans. I think the staff would struggle mightily trying to figure out how to include those in an official community plan. So I don't know, it's a recommendation. What is it? I'm just saying to the staff, with respect to the targets in the Ganges Village focus group report, that you look at those as goals and objectives and not targets with numbers attached to dates that ought to be embodied in the OCP.
So, I don't know if you need to make,
Yeah.
I think that's a sort of a general direction, and Mark, if you have that in there, and Kate, record it in the minutes. Unless you want to make
no,
it
I'm
as
fine
a
with that. It's just,
Yeah, so
There are just
you're talking
many-
about these things as targets, as not being specifically tied to a number and a date, but more just as an objective.
as many of the focus groups have done, a couple suggested that we develop a master plan, a strategic plan, an implementation plan, to use different languages. I think though, when we get the OCP finished, that kind of strategic plan is the kind of thing, document that ought to include those kinds of goals and targets, and I'd be very supportive of the development of a document like that, but I don't think these need to be in the OCP. Okay, I didn't have anything specific other than that with respect to Ganges Village. Can I talk about Fulford? We have already, as you know, taken off the table one of the recommendations that came from the Fulford focus group, and that had to do with creating a one-way street at Morningside out of the village and into the neighborhood. That's off the table. There, of course, has been a great deal of discussion in Fulford with respect to the boundaries suggested by the focus group, and also the desire of the community to have a study group that would look at a number of issues in the village and as relates to the community generally. So we've had lots of discussion about this. Kate, I have a fairly long, 1, 2, 3 sentences here, but again, I will give this to you in writing. So I would like to recommend that we, the trust that is, establish a study group for Fulford Village and encourage the study group to engage the community in dialogue about the future of the village area, including discussions of changed boundaries, a heritage designation, and other issues that will be developed by the trust in terms of reference. Further, encourage the study group to propose OCP amendments within the time frame of the OCP review, and remove consideration of the boundaries proposed by the Fulford focus group from the present discussion. And if Peter seconds that, I'll talk to briefly.
Okay, and just for the clarity in the minutes, when he says trust, could you make sure you just put Salt Spring Island local trust committee? It's not the Islands Trust generally, not the
Okay. I'm asking that we take out the boundary discussion as was proposed by the focus group, but leave the study group free to discuss any new boundaries as they see fit. Fits their vision of what the village ought to be. I don't want to preempt their consideration of boundaries, in other words, because I think that's important. But I don't believe that they should be inhibited by the existing boundary change recommended by the focus group. If this is successful, I would hope that we could get a group like this going in pretty short order, because this is the window of opportunity for dealing with changes to the official community plan, and I would like to get them going on this as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would just add the idea. So they came from the residents in Fulford, in or near Fulford Village, and I'm happy to help work with them and maybe work together on coming up with some community-supported solutions. I don't see this as a rejection of the focus group work at all. I think it's an extension of the work that they did. They made certain proposals. They recognised, obviously, the key issues in Fulford and provided some solutions that, unfortunately, the residents could not support. So I'm hoping that we can work together on this, involve the people that are going to be very much stakeholders in the whole process, and come up with a workable solution. Clearly, BC Ferries is going to be key to it all, and I think we need to work together as a community to put pressure on BC Ferries and the Ministry of Transportation to address that issue.
Okay, and so just to be clear again, we're talking about an OCP, there's text and then there's designation maps. So what you're basically saying is there are already designation maps around Fulford, and the idea is that you don't know yet whether something might be a reason to adjust it in some fashion. But you're not saying it should be done this way. You're just saying, let's look at it, and if there's a need to adjust any definition boundary,
We did just one other point.